Yet another month where I did not hit everything on my TBR. What are we going to do about that? Well, this month we're going to throw it all by the wayside. No April TBR. Let's discuss. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time here, like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And today we are talking about why in the month of April I am through with TBRs. I hate them. I don't think I'm going to do them anymore. So it's time to come up with a better system to schedule like what books I'm going to read and how to keep people updated with the books that I will be reading, because I think that is a large portion of what these TBR videos are. It's really just a way to be like, hey, these are what I have coming out, or this is what I plan to be doing, or, you know, like, look forward to these videos that I will be making based off the books that I'm reading. And I gotta think of a better way to do that, because I, yet again, have not fulfilled, like, my TBR. And I was pretty, modest. I only put 5 books on there, and I think I only ended up reading 3, and then I started some others, and I just, wasn't interested, and then I ended up just being like, I don't care. By the end of the month, here we are, and I do not care about, what was on my TBR. I want to read what is exciting to me. This is, an anti-TBR. Now, if a TBR is a system that works for you, obviously keep doing that. Don't just throw it all by the wayside. I know there are people out there that are entirely mood readers. They will finish a book and then they will pick their next book based entirely on, well, what kind of mood am I in? What do I feel like reading? And I guess what I am suggesting is a hybrid, right? I like schedules, I like scheduling, I like having check marks to reach, but I also am one of the most impulsive and compulsive people out there. I have a very addictive personality, which has gotten me into a lot of trouble over the years. But I hear an interview with an author, right? And I'm just I immediately want to go read that book. That is just the kind of person that I am. And I think that is what I am trying to introduce back into my reading habits. It's just being impulsive, grabbing the next book that I'm gravitating towards, rather than being well, I said I was going to read this, so I guess I will read this. And I have found in the last few months of scheduling or trying to schedule what I'm going to read, that every time I put a book down on a schedule, it immediately feels like homework. It immediately feels like I'm only going to be reading this book because I feel like I have to, because of the things that I have imposed on myself that literally no one in the world is telling me I have to do, but I am telling myself that I have to do them. And so that is definitely something that I am trying to avoid. I don't ever want reading to feel like it is a chore, that it is something that I have to do even though I'm not interested in it. And honestly, scheduling yourself to read books, and then when the time comes along and you're not that interested in reading that book, well, that is 100% how a slump happens. This happened to me in February. Trying to force yourself to read things that you are not interested in is the surefire way to make sure that you stop reading. So don't do that. Don't feel so beholden to your TBR. I will continue to make these kinds of videos. I will attempt to loosely structure my months and then allow for more impulsive reading habits. I think that is going to be the way forward. So what does that look like? Well, I think that I will pick maybe 3 to 4 books that I have a pretty good feeling that I will read them. Pretty good feeling that I will be able to get through these 4 because like they are things that like I've been putting off for a while, or that I have just like I'm really just like itching to get to it. So I think I can safely pick 4 books to be like, yes, I'm definitely going to read these. And then from there, I can just kind of talk about like I can allow myself to be more impulsive. Like I can pick something that like, oh, I'm feel for whatever reason I'm being pulled towards this book. Oh, let me read that. And those have ended up being like some of my favorite books this year. Like I have 2 reviews coming out fairly soon. One on Clown in the Cornfield and one on The Wolf of Wessex. Those are 2 books I did not like schedule to read. Those are 2 books that I just read because I was interested, and I ended up like really enjoying both of them. What are the 4 books? What are the books that I definitely think I can commit to this month? Well, for starters, soon there will be a video up talking about like my new sort of like reviewing system, how I plan to do it. Because like the main focus I think like needs to be the books. And it needs to be like the contents of the books and what is in there and what can we extract and pull out. That is kind of what I would like to focus on. So I have developed a kind of like review system, and there'll be a video coming out about that next week, I think. Sometime next week. It'll be like, what am I looking for in a review? How am I planning to review them? I have like 5 things that I like, 5 categories, so to speak, that I will be like going through and talking about. Yes, these reviews will be like a little bit longer videos, but that's fine. And then we can sprinkle in the other kind of videos amongst the reviews. But I definitely want to become more review-oriented and really just like talking about the books. So what are the books that I plan to read? If I was smart or good at this, I would have had them ready to go. But I do not. So book number 1, I'm actually like halfway through this, so maybe that's cheating. I am planning to read Aragon by Christopher Paolini. I am halfway through, as I said. I am enjoying it. I like it quite a bit. I've noticed a ton of hate around this book that I don't quite understand. Going to like the Goodreads page, I was immediately bombarded with like a bunch of 1-star reviews. And I don't know if it's just like, if Aragon is just like one of those books that like it's cool to hate on, but like, I don't know. I'm having a good time with it so far. Is it the best book I've ever read? No, not even close. But like, it's fun. It's a good kind of like, if you're into more like grim, dark stuff, more like kind of like darker toned books, it's a nice kind of a break from that. It's, you know, a boy goes on an adventure. Like those are the kinds of stories that I love. I also chose to read this because I know that Christopher Paolini recently announced that there is going to be a new book coming out this fall. So, I mean, I haven't really read these books since... I've only ever read the first one. I didn't continue with the series when I was younger. But I plan to read all 4 of those, probably in rather like quick succession of each other. They're not very difficult to get through because they're intended for younger audiences, but look forward to that. I do plan to do a full review of Aragon, knowing that I'm halfway through it and enjoying it. So I look for that coming soon, probably. The second book is The Way of Idan by Philip Chase. One of probably like my biggest YouTube like inspirations was because here's another one that like I really enjoy what he has to say about fantasy and like about books. He has conversations with people and he talks about the books and reviews books, and like that was like a big inspiration for me when I was like thinking about starting to do this, because to see someone who really was most of the time like just kind of talking about the books and discussing books and being a part of those kinds of discussions, I was like, oh, well maybe there is a space for this. And so I picked up his book on Kindle, and I have been slowly going through that. Like, it is very good so far. I'm quite liking it. I've only read the first maybe 2 chapters, but all in all, I am enjoying kind of like the setup, and I am interested to see where it goes. I may hold off on a review. I don't know if I really like want to review that, knowing that it's a trilogy and the sequels are coming out like fairly close together, so I might just wait and do them kind of one big thing and talk about like the story as a whole. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure. Also, this month, I plan to read 11th Cycle. That is a book that I have been hearing great things about. It is a Dark Souls inspired. I've never played the games, but I like that style of game. I like those like big grand worlds. So I'm very interested to dive into that. I know that it's very dark and it's brutal at times, and I also know that it's like 900 pages. But I look forward to diving into that. That is a book that I plan to get to this month. And finally, Illborn by Daniel T. Jackson. I plan to read the first book in that series this month as well. Those are kind of like my big focuses. I would like to get through like those books. Anything else is just going to be like a bonus, or maybe I'm going to like pick at some things as the month goes on. We are still doing The Witcher. The kind of like intro video for that will be up this weekend. Some videos for that already. I'm just kind of like editing them and putting them out. So yes, we are still continuing through the Witcher series, or starting to go through the Witcher series, so look forward to those videos. And then I also am doing the Wheel of Time concurrently, but I think how those videos will go is I will wait until I'm done like with The Witcher, like short stories, and then I will do the first Witcher book, and then we'll do the first Wheel of Time book, and then kind of just like alternate with those series until we're done with The Witcher, and then will pick another series to kind of alternate with the Wheel of Time, so that I'm not just like going through the Wheel of Time book after book after book. Some people can read series that way. Like I can't. I really can't just like go from one book right directly into the next. I typically need like some kind of a break in there. So that is like what we're playing. Those are like, I guess I consider those more like bonus videos. It's just kind of like reading vlogs of us going through like talking about The Witcher. Like I did the first 2 short stories so far. I have videos for those filmed. I just have to edit them and put them out. Probably plan on like one of those a week, maybe more, depending on how much I can get done. But yeah, that is going to be a way for me to like get through series, is make these kind of like reading vlogs about them. And I really only plan so far to do series that are like completed, so that at least there is a definitive stopping point. But we'll see. This is all in time. Things can change, so we'll see. Now, what are the books that I plan to pick away at over the month? Or if I have time, I will get to them. The first book being Gunmetal Gods. I've heard phenomenal things about this book. I was immediately drawn to it by the covers. The covers are incredible. So I look forward to checking that out if I have time this month. I would really like to get to it. I'm not planning a super heavy month, because I like 11 cycles, 900 pages. I know that's going to take me some time to get through. So yeah, we'll see. But Gunmetal Gods is certainly a book I would like to get to this month. Not to mention there are some other self-published stuff out there that I will try to get to, that I have just like sitting on my Kindle that I would like to read, that I would love to read. I just gotta find the time first. But Gunmetal Gods will be my top priority. So that is the books I plan to get to, that I would like to get to. Again, no promises. I really would like to just follow the impulses. I would like to read like what is speaking to me like in that moment. Like I don't want this to feel like I have to do it. If I need to take a break from something, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna read something that is like drawing my attention. Because as long as I'm being drawn to read something, I want to follow that and just keep reading and plowing through books. Because like, again, the more this feels like homework, the less you are likely to achieve. So read the book that is like calling your name. Read the book that you are feeling the most drawn to, even if it's completely impulsive. Even if it's like, oh, I heard an interview with this author. He sounds like a nice person, or she sounds like a nice lady. Like, I want to read their book. They sold their book really well. I want to read it. Go read it. Like, as long as you are continuing to read, follow the impulse. Follow like where you are drawn to, because that is the best way to make sure that you continually stay reading. To just follow what feels right in that moment. And so maybe I am becoming more of a mood reader and less of like a strict planner, which is strange because in every other aspect of my life, I'm a very strict planner. But when it comes to read, I don't know, like The second I say I'm going to read something, I immediately lose all interest in reading it. And so I am now just going to start following like my impulses and be like, oh, I would like to read this. Pick it up, start reading. What kind of a reader are you? Do you have to schedule out your month? Are you an impulse reader? Let us know down in the comments below. But that is all I had for you today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And until next time, stay safe out there. Keep reading good books.